There was the Vietnamese War was waging, and I was against the Vietnamese War. I was 15 years old. I decided to start a magazine to campaign against it. It's called Student, and it became the sort of the national magazine for young people. The magazine didn't make much money, but it got a big circulation. About 100,000 young people bought the magazine. And one day I took an advert in the magazine, Virgin Records, 10 to 60% off any album on any label, and listed the kinds of records we liked, things like Frank Zappa rather than Andy Williams. And so it became very much the rock and roll mail order company. And then we started signing our own bands that we couldn't get other record companies to release. We released ourselves. There are bands everywhere that want to be found. It's finding the right ones. And I had a 15-year-old boy called Mike Oldfield come to me with a tape called Tubular Bells, which he'd recorded all the tracks himself. I literally went to another record company, borrowed an artist called Sandy Denny's contract, and we typed out the contract. We managed to get the Exorcists to take the music, and that took it to #1 in America. It became a phenomenal success. Moved on and signed bands like the Sex Pistols and the Rolling Stones and a lot of other iconic great bands. In those days, there was quite a lot of money to go around in the record business. A big hit album could sell 10, 15 million albums. We went into the airline business because I had record companies all over the world, and I was traveling a lot on other people's airlines. And there was one time I took a flight from Puerto Rico to the Virgin Islands, and I got bumped by American Airlines, and chartered a plane, and I came out with a blackboard, and for fun I wrote Virgin Airlines, $29 to the Virgin Islands, walked around all the people who'd been bumped. I filled up my plane. And then as I was landing, somebody said to me, sharpen up the service a bit and you could go into the airline business. And I've started 3 or 4 airlines, so Virgin Atlantic, Virgin America, Virgin Australia, and they've all gone really well. And the reason they've gone well is because they're the best airlines in their field. And if you're the best hotel or the best shop or the best club or the best airline, you survive. I mean, it's people who try to be second best who normally stumble.